genuinely maintain very close relations with Iran, and this includes specifically an agreement for military technical cooperation. We have supplied Iran with certain types of military-grade products, but we absolutely cannot agree with the accusations that we are assisting Iran by transferring intelligence data. The coordinates of American military bases in this region are known to everyone. This isn't being concealed. It's publicly available information. And the fact that Iran is attacking these military bases, for me personally, causes no surprise whatsoever. At what time? The leading members of the United States administration, with such bravado and with a certain pride, are openly speaking about the cold-blooded assassinations of the country's supreme leader, as well as other key members of the Iranian leadership. Of course, it is truly difficult to describe this as anything other than sheer cynicism. Therefore, we are advocating for the comprehensive safeguarding of the interests of both Iran and all the countries throughout the entire region. The problem that we, along with our Russian compatriots and Russian-speaking citizens in Ukraine, have encountered is the complete...
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who push in the 100% truth. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Alright, this lesson will be entitled Russia is helping Iran. Alright, okay, the meat is helping the Persians. Okay, and as you see here, this foreign prime minister of Russia, admits they are supplying Iran. Okay, as you see here, Iran knows where Americans are hiding. Russia shocks Trump, confirms arms supply to Iranian army. Okay, they help now, giving them equipment and thing. This is all prophecy. Russia's being a guard onto Iran. They involved. Okay. This is all according to prophecy as we know it. Ezekiel 38, which I'll read. Okay. And ultimately, all these nations are gonna team up with Russia, and destroy America by thermonuclear fire. Okay. So probably I'll just read the description here. It says Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov said that Russia and Iran have a military technical cooperation agreement, and Moscow supplied Iran with certain types of military products. And this is today, only the 27th of March. Alright, okay, he made this interview. Alright, but we can't, as you really know, and we can't can't accept the accusations that we're helping Iran with intelligence. Okay, but still they're helping Iran, alright? Okay. Alright. Lavrov said in an interview on France television on Thursday night, speaking in Moscow, he added that everyone knows the coordinates of the US military bases in the region. It's public information. I'm surprised that Iran is attacking them. Slakia, I'm not surprised that Iran is attacking them. I know. Okay, everybody know where the US bases, military bases are. So hey, but Russia, still helping Iran out. Which, as we know, this is prophecy. Okay, and I'll read it. I'll read that. This is Ezekiel 38 and verse I'll start verse 1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." Okay, this is Russia, which is being the chief prince. All right. Okay, verse 3 says, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. All right, the Lord gonna stir up Russia, against Babylon. He gonna, you know, put them in a conquering state. They're gonna want to conquer, Babylon. All right, okay, and you're gonna control them. That's Proverbs 21 verse 1. That evil thought they're gonna think. All right. That the king's heart is the hand of the Lord. Okay. Because putting hooks into jaws, is a form of control. Like a horse. You know, is to control him. So that's what the Lord is doing with Russia. All right, it says, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right, all those missiles that Russia have, all them weapons and whatnot, you're gonna bring them against Babylon. Verse 5, Persia. Okay, who's the Persians? Who's the modern day Persians? Iran. Okay, and I'll just type that up. When they change the name from change the name from Persia to Iran. I'll just type that up. When did Iran changed their name from Persia? All right, this is it here. It says Persia officially become Iran on March the 21st, 1938, when Reza Shah Pahlavi requested the international community, all right, use the endom Iran instead of Persia. Right, so you see, they are the Persians, all right, Elam, the Elamites, okay, and Russia is being a guard unto them, okay, helping them out, okay, as you see, all right, okay, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them, with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. All right, all them nations gonna team up with Russia. All right, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thine company that are that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Russia is being a guard unto Iran, and are gonna be a guard unto all these nations. All right, all of them gonna team up against Babylon. Okay, and it's just prophecy. All right, prophecy. So America is finished. All right, the weak saying they're strong. Okay, all this shit what Trump saying they won the war, peace negotiations thing. It's still going on. Okay, Iran still hitting. All right, I just see. I think it's sent cluster bombs again. I think it was spotted on Tel Aviv, which is in Israel or land. So it's not finished. So this pride, this devil pride, as you see with Trump, it's going down. Okay, and I'll read that. The weak say they are strong. That's Joel 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Okay, just alone Iran, messing up the US, messing them up, not allowing them to go in the street of Hormuz and all these things, bombing up they bombing up Israel and whatnot. So hey, it's the weak saying they're strong. Okay. And the Lord is bringing down, these devils' pride, okay? And you see Trump, he's the face it, prideful, they can't, he's saying they won the war, so why, he should be able to just go straight into, Hormuz, and get the oil, and it's not happening. All right, and let me just get this, the pride of their heart deceived them. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay, America was the biggest bully, and now they being bullied. Okay, they being bullied. Iran is messing them up. All right. Okay, Iran is messing them up, as you see. Okay. Trump getting desperate. And although we're seeing it, we've been seeing that. Different news sites, different news and whatnot, we're seeing that the war still going on. So, hey, and the Lord gonna stir up the Medes, the Russians. Okay. That gonna happen. All this war, they're gonna escalate to, World War III. Okay. This is Jeremiah 51 and verse 12. It's like here. Verse 12, it says, let me see. Actually, verse 11. I'll start verse 11. It says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirits of the kings of the Medes. Okay, the Russians. All right, for his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Okay, and a wipe off the face of the earth, the whole. All right. Okay, and I think Iran had make a AI video, as you see, where, one vengeance. I believe one vengeance for all. Okay, and like, a missile destroying like the Statue of Liberty, somewhat like that, So hey, all the Lord is stirring up the nations against her. Alright, verse 12, it says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Okay. And hey, Russia's now being involved. It's prophecy is happening now. This is Jeremiah chapter 30. So okay, now chapter let's see, 50 and verse 23. It says here. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? America, Babylon the Great. There was the hammer of the whole earth. They was feared. All nations don't want to go up against her. Now they're realizing, that they're weak. And just Iran, mashing them up. Okay. All right, they weak. Iran, not opening the street of Hormuz. They can't even get Trump boasting. He's saying they think it was a thing like with Iran, with Venezuela. That not happening with Iran. The streets of Hormuz, still closed. All right. Then they rather to sell it in Iran, which is Chinese, I think, money, than the US, US dollars, so, which right now have them in economy struggles, hey, Right, they're being brought down. Alright, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. And that snare is Iran. Okay, to bring them in World War III. The least of the flock draw them out, them rats and them, and they're being drawn to this war to ultimately build up to World War III. To the ultimate World War III, and to and to be destroyed. Okay, the Lord hath opened his armory, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord power, Yahweh of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Okay, the Lord ultimate work coming, all those missiles what these nations have, gonna destroy her utterly. She's gonna be deep fried. Okay, deep fried. So Babylon is about to go down. So all prophecy is happening. The vision is speaking. I'll get that. All right. This is Habakkuk. Bear with me here. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. The word tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Okay, the vision is speaking now. Okay, all what the prophecy that the prophets are all been speaking. The prophets are all the prophecies. That the prophecy what the prophets have been that are prophesied is speaking, and that we are telling you, is happening, that we've been prophesying, prophets now, okay, the word of the Lord is happening. That's why the word of the Lord don't go out void. Okay, and I'll just get this. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord, and read, for no one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. Okay, you're not gonna fail. All the scriptures, you're not gonna fail. Okay, this is Isaiah. This will be the last precept here. It's Isaiah 46 and verse 10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning. Alright, that's Yahweh. Okay. And from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Alright. Calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it. Okay, this is the Lord purpose. This is his words, and it's coming to pass, not being void. All right. All these countries, Russia, Iran is gonna, is gonna destroy America, Babylon the Great. Already whole. Okay. Let's read this in the EMP. All right. This is in EMP. It says, let's see here. Well, the water. So that's it there. So Russia is helping Iran. This prophecy will going out. So the Lord's will in this video is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Rule Well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, Wa Abad Babal, and Shalom.